Hey everyone. Wait. Hold on. Uh-oh. Where's my headsets? Where is my headset? Hold on, just a second. Very unprofessional. Okay, let me make sure that my headsets are working. Testing. Okay. Why does my audio sound that good? Okay. There we go. That audio sounds a lot better now. Now let's make sure about the soundtrack. There we go. Okay. Alright. So, I was gonna do some kind of bit and stuff where today's been a mixed bag, but well, this will be my bit. Anyways, greetings creatures and humans alike. I am MagiQDog, and tonight we shall be learning about... Scribble. Wait, what? There we go. Scribble. We'll be learning about the Harpies. Boy, this creature of the week ain't really doing that great for me, isn't it? But anyways, yeah, we're gonna be learning about these menaces of the skies of Greek myths. So let's get underway. The Harpy is a fierce and deadly half-bird female spirit toad in Greek mythologies. Harpies in myths are described as being a half-woman, half-bird creatures, similar to that of Sirens. However, their mix is a bit different. They normally have a head, torso, and arms and legs of a woman, but with wings, tail feather, and the feet and talons of a bird of prey. Their face are described as being ugly or can be beautiful depending on the times, and could smell rotten to the point of spoiling things that they touch. In some Greek arts and faces, they can appear more as winged woman, or similar to sirens with the body of a bird and the head/torso of a woman. There's even a face that shows a harpy looking mainly human, but with the bird wings at her ankles. But the main appearance is the first that I mentioned above. Harpies seem to play an interesting role in Greek myths. Unlike the sirens, who are basically harbinger of death for sailors, harpies are considered enforcers and punishers of the gods. Harpies are Harpies are wind spirits that personify storms and violent gusts of sharp winds. They were born from the union of the sea god Thaumas and the Oceanid Electra, making them related to the divine. They served the Greek gods with Zeus, Hera, and Atehna as the primary gods as divine punishers. They could be dispatched to go after the mortals to either snatch them away to their lairs, be dismembered by their talons, take away their belongings, or straight up torment people until they could kill them. Because of them often sent out by Zeus, they gained the nickname the Hounds of Zeus. The scariest part is that harpies are considered man-eaters. They are ravenous spirits that can easily tear apart a full-grown man and devour their insides like wild beasts that's been starved for days. One of the best stories about the harpies is that of King Phienus of Thrace, where Zeus punished King Phienus by... Hang on, I messed up. Man, I was doing pretty good too. Anyways, Zeus punished the guy by blinding him and trapping him on the island, and have an abundance of food always taken by a group of harpies. Normally the group is considered two. Harpies are well known as the half-bird, half-woman beings of Greek myths. But not only does other myths and legends tell of other flying female beings, but Greeks also got another female bird creatures within their regions. The Greeks also talk about the Sirens, the woman-headed bird sea spirits that was feared by sailors for their use their enchanting voices to lure them to crash and sink their ships. In Slavic myths, the Sirens, this one being spelled Sirin, is a woman-headed and chest owl being that sings beautifully. Slavics also got Argonauts, who are similar to Sirens, but have colorful bird bodies instead of an owl. In Scandinavian regions, the Huldra, a seducing hollowback female wood wasp, or nature-keeping spirits, can transform into birds too. Sylphs from European myths can also appear with feathered wings and have other bird features like harpies. Not to mention the fact that if we consider both genders, you have other creatures that are half bird and half human, like the Chinese long-faced Yimins, and the bird beak and wings Huandou, Hindu musical Kinnaras and Kinnaris, and even Christian angels as well. Harpies are considered one of the most feared Greek creatures around, and with their abilities and powers, it's no wonder. First is their physical ability with their sharp claws and talons that can rip a person to shreds, along with them having incredible speed along with enhanced agility and reflexes to fly around their prey. Also the fact that they are half bird, they can fly with great speed, accuracy, and travel long distances. In fact, they can suddenly appear in any place around the Greek regions due to their association with the winds. They are also exceptional predators with predatory skills to hunt and devour people. And being wind spirits, they can manipulate the winds and generate storms. They can easily destroy homes and properties with their destruction powers, and cause death due to being harbingers of death. Some harpies are even known to have hypnotic voices to lure in their targets like sirens. Lastly, with them serving the gods, they may have some defined protections and able to travel to the abode of the gods. These powers make harpies truly dangerous, but harpies too have weaknesses one can use to protect themselves. The major weakness is despite being wind spirits, they have physical form with a weak physical build and bones. Someone can kill a harpy if they capture it and kill it with their weapons. Also, if one can pluck a feather off of a harpy, it'll lose its ability to fly. Another weakness is a cold, as harpies are vulnerable to it and makes them hibernate during the winters. Some certain plants like mountain ash repels harpies too. And finally, even if they are in the air, a skilled marksman with a bow and arrow or someone capable of flight that can catch them and beat them can can send them down to the ground. Sorry, typo. Now, it's actually funny how Greek mythology have two female spirits that are half birds and half women, with both the Harpies and Sirens. Both the Harpies and Sirens are similar to one another, as they're both half bird female spirits that seem to cause death of mortals. However, that is the only key similarities between us two. Harpies have more human characteristics compared to Sirens, with only a female head and the rest being a bird. Sirens live around the islands and seas and lure in sailors to their death by crashing their ships, while Harpies seem to live more inland with caves and even in the underworld, and they are considered punishers and snatchers of men. Sirens are not known to eat humans, while Harpies are considered ravenous and will eat humans. Harpies are repulsive and deadly, while Sirens are considered beings of beauty that uses their face and songs to lure and prey. Harpies are associated with the wind and storms, while Sirens are related to the dangers of the sea. And of course their powers are completely different, except for maybe the hypnotic voice. In fact, Sirens are actually more related to mermaids than they are to harpies, which is kind of insane to think about. I mean, after all, with them being bird creatures. But anyways, moving on! Harpies are well known throughout the Greek regions and islands, with their tails spreading their fearsome reputation far and wide. But the most famous account of harpies come from the story of Harpies and the Argonauts. The story goes as this. The Argonauts are a famous band of heroes who are led by Jason of Colchis on a quest to get the legendary item Golden Fleece. During their travels, they arrive on the island of Thrace. There they met King Phienus, who lived alone near the city of Samadeus. By the way, if I'm pronouncing any of these and stuff, y'all know the drill. Anyways, the king told his story to the Argonauts about his punishment. Apparently, Zeus granted him the gift of a seer and to read prophecies, but he revealed too much to humanity, and Zeus punished him by blinding his eyes and sending him to Thrace to live alone. Worst part is that harpies will come down and steal his abundance of food, always leaving him hungry every day. Jason made a deal with King Phineas. to get rid of the Harpies in exchange for his help to find the Golden Fleece, to which the king agreed to. Jason got his men alongside 2 winged soldiers, Zetes and Calalis, ready to fight. So when the Harpies, sometimes said to be 2, like I mentioned before, came to King Phineus' house to devour his food, Jason and his men attacked the Harpies and chased them off to the next island. King Phineus was now free from the Harpies and ate to his fill. He also delivered his promise and told him about the pathway to the Simple Gaze. Now, Harpies have been told far and wide around the Greek world as fierce punishers and snatchers of men. And these stories have made it all the way to the modern times, making Harpies one of the most well-known and infamous creatures of ancient Greek. Because of this, Harpies have shown up in movies, TV series, cartoons, anime and manga, books, games, and more. With movies, Percy Jackson the Lightning Thief had Jackson's first Greek creature to encounter was in fact a Harpy. The 2007 horror movie, Harpies, got a few in the Middle Ages that a time traveler Jason fought against. Ha, notice? Jason and the Argonauts? Okay. Excuse me. Anyways, the Chronicle of Narnia's got a few Harpies surfing the White Witch. The movie, Jason and the Argonauts, recounted Jason and his men fighting the Harpies. And the 2010's Clash of the Titans got Harpies that was summoned by Hades to snatch up people. With TV series, 1996's The Adventures of Sinbad got a few that Sinbad encountered. Also, Hercules, The Legendary Journey, and Jason and the Argonauts TV series got Harpies based on Greek myths. And Charms got an episode dedicated to Harpies too. Even Lost Girls mentioned a Harpy in one of their episodes. With cartoons, apparently both movies My Little Ponies and The Last Unicorn got a Harpy character named Seleno, though they aren't typically Harpies to say the least. 1987's DuckTales got an episode Golden Fleecing that retells the story of Jason and the Harpies. Also, the fact that the 2017 DuckTales brought up Harpies again in one of their episodes is also kinda unique too. Ida from the Owl House also got a Harpy form that she mastered. The Disney series Hercules got one that stole Hercules' poem. And the villain Talon from Static Shock appears as a Harpy. With anime, you got characters like Poppy from Monster Musume, the Harpies from Dungeon Meshi, Monette from One Piece, the Harpy Ladies from Yu-Gi-Oh!, the Demon Queen Frey and her race of Harpies in the Slime anime, and more. In video games, games like God of War, Against the Storm, Castlevania, Dark Souls, Hero of Sparta, Might and Magic, and more games got Harpies, whether they are enemies or allies. Even other games like Magic the Gathering, Yu-Gi-Oh! And D&D feature Harpies in their card and board games. In books and comics, Betty Rose became a gamma-radiated Harpy in one of the Incredible Hulk issues, and Wonder Woman had 2 issues with Harpies in them. The Divine Comedy by Dante Alighieri. I think I pronounced his last name right. Anyways, it's that famous book by Dante. Anyways, he also had Harpies in the Wood of the Suicide in the Inferno. A fantasy attraction by E.G. Castle features a Scarlet Herbert as the Harpy. And no, I ain't talking about Herbert the Purper from Family Guy too. Anyways, the Percy Jackson books features Harpies, including the character named Ela. And the Last Unicorn book got Seleno, the Harpy, like the movie I mentioned before. Even some animals like the Harpy Eagle and the extinct dinosaur Harpy Mimus got their names based on the mythical creatures. And to wrap this all up, the Harpies are a terror of the skies in ancient Greek world, bringing forth the wrath of the gods, and horrifying the people with their sharp talons and ravenous maws. From their ability to summon winds to appear whenever the gods sent them, these harbingers of death and despair bring forth horrors from the sky, like the violent winds and storms they personify. So if you were to anchor Zeus, or the Olympians in Thrace or the other Greek islands, beware the skies, for the hounds of Zeus may descend upon you. And with that, that concludes the Harpies. So, what do you guys think of these flying menaces? Do you think they deserve the title as being the Punishers? Do you wonder why they call them the Hounds when they're clearly, bird people? Would you like to date one? Let me know in the comments section on my YouTube channel. And with that, this concludes our Creature of the Week. And speaking of which, next week's Creature of the Week will involve... Ooh, this one's gonna be interesting. Our next one's gonna involve pretty much a giant that is said to roam around the Scandinavian myth. And just to let you know, it's not the Jotuns. Because this one can only come out during the night. I'll let y'all figure out what that one is until next week. So yeah. We had a pretty good time on this one. And I hardly messed up all that much. So I am happy about that. Now then. For those of you on YouTube and stuff. This is pretty much going to be it for tonight. But for those of you on Twitch, I am going to be playing Jump Force in the next 30-ish minutes or so. So I hope to see you guys back here pretty soon. But with all until then, and with everything else out of the way, thank you guys for coming on this fantastic Creature of the Week stream. I hope y'all had as much fun as I did, as we got to learn about the Harpies and their punishing ways. And if you wish to learn more about these creatures, check me out on my Twitch page. Also check me out on Twitter, along with my Game and React and my main YouTube channel. And leave a like and subscribe for that too. And with that, I bid this show adieu, and this class adjourned. So see you guys. So long. Bye bye. Okay, bye.